hour two, but here we are. So, all right, let's get into it, Tim. DB talk. Some other cool stuff coming out. Bill Huber, great follow on X.
DB talk, aka CV talk. Let's go.
Heck yeah, a little bit of bull too. We'll get into that in a minute. Bill Huber says the last 2 weeks for Carrington Valentine, according to PFF, 8 targets, 2 catches, 15 yards. That's it. They've only first of all, the 8 targets in the last 2 weeks tells me they're kind of staying away from 24 a little bit. And the fact that out of those 8 targets, only 2 catches, 15 yards, let's freaking go. As Jen Wright says in the comments, CB, 1. No doubt about it. He's just playing so – and again, this is, again, random CV noise that says Bates. I love those videos too, by the way, the Packers post. So, for me, his rookie year coming out of Kentucky, Tim, you guys remember, coming out of camp, any little bit of playing time, anything, it's just like, man, this guy, he's just saying it doesn't seem to be translating, right? And from the college game to the pros, you guys know I'm very vocal. I'm a Kentucky fan. Watching him play at Kentucky, as Coach Stoops said, he was the emotional leader for our defense that they lost. It was going to be a big void. I agreed in college, but again, you got to make that transition to the NFL. Didn't seem like he could do it. Year 2, took a step. I went, hold up a minute, boys. He's playing sticky coverage and 2 red zone interceptions last year, if I remember correctly, right? Tied the cornerback room lead for interceptions with Jair Alexander. And then this year, they kind of put baby back in the corner again, right? Just like on Dirty Dancing, Tim. I know you.
Yeah. Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Damn right. See, that's what I'm talking about. I ain't ashamed to mention that my wife has maybe watched Dirty Dancing 1,000 times. Anyway, and I know it has nothing to do with old boy with the abs either. It has nothing to do with that. So, but they kind of tucked him away. Said, all right, Hobbs, you're the starter. Keyshawn, you're starting opposite. Bull's going to be the slot. Now, you could look at this one of 2 ways. There was times that I was like, man, put Hobbs in the slot, sit Bull, and play Carrington because Carrington's that good. Little did I know Bull was going to take a step, which we'll talk about here in a second. And now all of a sudden, it's looking like Carrington Valentine might be a number 1 corner, right? I mean, up to this point, there's no might. He is. He's playing like a number 1 corner. Got to sustain that like Greg Cosell talks about all the time. But, yeah, Tim, I'm excited about Carrington Valentine, man. A Kentucky Wildcat breaking out. It doesn't get any better this for me. If you guys watch college football this year, we ain't got much to be happy about.
I'll tell you, man, this is my not surprised face. I've been saying this going into this season throughout the preseason process. I've been telling people to keep their eyes on 2-4. It's just cool to see him getting these looks now and getting that opportunity. And to the fact that, like you said, these teams are starting to pick up on the fact that they may need to tilt their game plan a little bit when it comes to CV. You see the targets are, they're not targeting them. Normally with corners, if they're an issue, you're going to get picked on all day long. And it seems like they don't want to throw that way. And I had a feeling, man, I really did about this guy. And I love the way he plays the game. I love his attitude out there. And I'm not surprised at all. And we still haven't even seen, the quote unquote ceiling there. This may be another one of those players that doesn't have one. And, we'll be talking about it for years to come, but I've seen enough. I'm convinced it might be time to go ahead and look at Mr. Valentine and say the same thing that we were saying about Scoot, right?
Pay that man his money.
Again, man, you're looking to model that roster, and there's only so many you can pay, right? Well, Keyshawn is like $6 million against the cap. His contract's not going to last forever, right? You got Bullard on a rookie deal. He's more of a slot corner. You could probably get him a little cheaper than a true shutdown outside corner when his contract comes up. So you're really positioning yourself to go, okay, people probably thinking you paid Nate Hobbs. Nate Hobbs is a 1 plus a 3, so you can actually get out of that if you need to. Carrington's that dude whenever it comes time. And here's what's cool. It's not like he's emerged as this superstar that everybody's going, oh, my God, we got to pay him. We got to pay him top corner money. We know how good he is. We're watching the tape. They know how good he is. They can also come through it from a standpoint of like, hey, you just became a starter. There's a lot of I don't want to say shady, but listen, there's tactics that teams use, and rightfully so. It's a business to drive the value down, maybe more so. They could be, what I'm saying is Goody and them could be behind the scenes going, boys, we need to get him a contract. This guy's going to be a stud. We cannot let him know that. You know what I mean? That type of thing.
Little gamesmanship, right? Yeah.
But the team loves him. They love everything about him. He's just one of those guys on the team that everything, you check all the boxes. He plays hard. He plays with good technique. right? He plays the game the right way. He's a team player. His teammates love him. The coaches love him. Like,
he's an absolute spark plug, man.
what
That's
can you?
what he is. He's a
negative can
spark
you
plug,
find?
man.
Yeah, maybe the only negative you can't find is he's not an elite athlete. That's it.
Yet, not yet.
Right.
Give the man some time. Let him come into his own. And you're right. It is a business, but I mean, CV strikes me as the type of guy, again, like if you don't insult him with an offer, he's probably going to sign and stay in Green Bay. That's just the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah, absolutely. Jen Wright says 85 PFF grade for Nixon. We'll talk about that here in a second. We haven't even talked about Keyshawn having one of his best game. Might be his highest graded game, as a matter of fact, of his career. So again, you've got all of the DBs kind of rising up. And listen, I know the Giants don't have the Vikings wide receiver room. I get it. All right. I'm not sitting here trying to pretend like, all of a sudden all these guys are superstars. But if we're going to criticize them when they have a down game, we damn sure better praise them when they have a good game. Keyshawn had a hell of a game, no doubt about it.
Yep.
I'll tell you another player too, and I see your super chat there, Jason. I'm going to finish this up and I'll hit that, buddy. Appreciate your support there, man. Pack Daddy tweeted this out. Flying massively under the radar is the fact that Bullard might be a dude. Since the bye week, he's the 9th highest graded corner and has the 8th highest coverage grade among corners. Guys, notice he didn't say slot corner. Notice he didn't say nickel back.
Corner. Can we stop calling this man a safety now?
Yeah, please, right? Like, and that's we criticize the team for them trying to fit square pegs into round holes all the time, right? We're going to criticize it when we see it. However, this is one of those situations where they identified real quick, no, he needs to play slot, and they allowed Evan to grab a hold of the safety position, which another dude in the secondary is just playing really, really good football. So, it's one of those things, man, that now you're looking at when you model your roster again, you can probably pay 2 corners really good money, not superstar money, right? Like if you have to go out and get a Jalen Ramsey in their prime or a Jair Alexander, notice we didn't pay any other corners top money, right? We were having to let them walk because we were only paying 1. If you get Carrington locked up soon, if he continues doing what he's doing, and you lock up Bull, right? And now by the time Evan Williams' contract is due, McKinney's contract's going to be coming to an end. You got to make a decision there, but you're hoping that our boy Evan Williams can step into that safety role and kind of fill that void by X, unless X is playing good football, and then you tack on a couple voidable years, swap the credit card, and keep this thing going with an elite defense, right? So, but again, Bullard, man, playing damn good football too.
Yeah, great point by Ryan here, and I'm glad he brought it up because our biggest gripe, we've talked about this before. Our biggest gripe with him was coverage, and dude is playing his ass off in coverage this year so far, and it looks like a second-year jump for Javon Bullard, man, and I'm just happy to see it, and I love it. If he can really hold that slot position down like that, that's a huge monkey off our back in the secondary, right? I mean, you've got a guy that that can play there, whether it's in the run fits. We know he's a tackling monster, but now the coverage skills are there, man. The sky is the limit for that Georgia Bulldog, Mr. Bullard. I love it. I'm glad that he's back.
I threw this tweet out earlier today because I think I quote tweeted Jacob Morley, who was talking about the top PFF grades, Javon Bullard being one of those. I said, all aboard the Javon Bullard hype train, baby.
Yep.
Right here. We'll just roll it once. All aboard. All right. And I'm telling you, it looks like Bullard. This is before I seen Ryan's tweet too. So it's like we're seeing the same thing there. Like, looks like Bullard's taking a massive step. And again, we talked about Evan Williams. I want to give a shout out to Jacob Morley for this tweet. This is absolutely awesome. I love these when they show the crowd shots. Can you tell who's having a good game and who isn't? Evan Williams intercepting this pass in the fourth quarter to pretty much seal the game, essentially. And this shot was taken, as you can see up here, right? Look at the reaction. Look at the Packer fans. Oh, hell yeah. And then you got the Giants fan like, yeah, I got the subway back home. And this subway ride's going to suck. Right? So, hell of an interception by Evan, though, man. And again, we played Victory Monday. If you guys haven't seen it, go back and watch it from this morning. But we played the locker room speech by Matt LaFleur. Just seeing how humble Evan Williams is and how his teammates love him. There's something special happening in Green Bay, man. As we always say, you're building a team. You're not collecting talent.
Not collecting talent. Well said. And you know what? We can talk about that receiver quitting on the route, which he maybe have did. We don't know. We're not in the meeting room, right? But either way, the coverage was there. We heard Evan talking about going hot there. I think that, let's say the receiver doesn't quit on his route, then it's a PBU, right. We'll take that too. But game-sealing interception, I love it.
Yeah, definitely. And again, what he talked about in the post-game interview at his locker, he said, yeah, they were playing basically quarter, half, what we call cover 6 defense, quarters to the right from the offense's perspective. Evan was playing the cover 2. And then he said, I kind of figured as soon as talking about the one receiver, or they may have switched, but the guy who ends up being the one, as soon as he attacked the flat, I figured this corner is probably going to be hot, right? The 2 is going to be hot. So he was waiting for him to tip his hand. Typically, you can tell by the technique of them chopping down. He read corner, and he got to the spot before the receiver did. So just a hell of a job. And here's what's cool. Knowing the defense that you're in too, Tim, he knows it's quarter, half. He doesn't have to help X. He doesn't have to help on the other side because you got 2 deep responsibility quarters over there, right? So all you got to do is make sure you lock down your side of the field. The flat, no problem. It was what they call a flat 7, right? So they're going to run a flat and a 7 route, which is a corner. So he knew I don't have to help with the flat. Carrington's got that on lock. Let me jump on this corner. And again, it's a second-year player playing like a 6-year vet is what it is.
All over the Oregon tape, right? We talked about it with him. Absolute steal in that draft. The FBI with Evan Williams was evident from, very early. And now we're seeing him kind of come into his own in year 2 in this Hafley system and balling his ass off, man. I love it. Love E-Will, man. One of my favorites.
Yeah, definitely. He plays the game the right way. So for those of you watching this video back later, let us know what you think of the DB room. Which of those DBs that we talked about are you most excited about? Is there one that you think maybe even that, hey, look, I'm not as big on him. You maybe look to replace him. Maybe you think Keyshawn's that guy. Also, maybe you think Keyshawn's better than Carrington. Let us know in the comments what you think. And make sure you hit that bell icon so you're notified when we go live here in the